Oh, okay, here we go. What's up, guys? Oh my God, I'm super excited. Like the day has arrived. We have Miss Erica Morel in the house with us. And first and foremost, this is like super exciting for me because not only is she live with us, but also we're doing a visual with her. So this is usually we don't usually do them live and in color and for us to see each other's faces, our actual reactions. But today we have her like promptly with us, right? So here we go. So without further ado, Miss Erin Morel, she is a mother of four, all the way from New York, now in Houston, Texas. She was a mom that went through a lot of struggles and a hard come up, but she didn't let that define her. She didn't let that become her definition, her like roadmap, right? She decided that she was going to lay out a new layout for herself and create this like vision, right, for what she wanted and what she was gonna envision for herself and her girls and her family, right? Then she didn't have her two beautiful boys. And she has been such a pivotal person, not only in my life, but a lot of people, a lot of women's life, which is necessarily her that is her mission. Her mission is to just focus on building and leveling up other women such as herself in the same positions. Erica, thank you so much. Give us a little bit of backstory, something that I didn't say because I know there's so much more, and I know I'm probably missing something. Tell us a little bit about you, and kind of just share with us.
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much, Diana, for that intro. When I'm hearing someone like introduce me like that, I'm like, man, is that me? Is she talking about me? Like, who's coming up? Thank you so much. That means so much. So, just a little background story, right? Because I gotta take you to like those moments, right? So, I'm actually like Diana said, I'm originally from New York City, now living in Houston, Texas, and I actually was a teen mom. So I came out pregnant at the age of 15. I had my first daughter at the age of 16. By the time I was 18, I was a single mama of two. Like I was a single mama of two, and I had a hard knock life, right? I also made a lot of bad decisions, and I just felt like that's where my life was, like that's where it was going.
Mm.
And I'm grateful that one person, just one person, said to me, "You're destined for greatness," and I believed it. And it absolutely changed my life. That's why I love this. That's why I live for women empowerment. That's why I live for affirmations and letting people know, letting women especially know how amazing and powerful they are, because it just took one person to tell me something and for me to believe it, and my life changed so much after that. Um, I was a stay-at-home mama. I started working, because I had my two kids. I was in the security field for 7 years. So I was in the security
Mm.
field for 7 years before I came into entrepreneurship. And I've been in entrepreneurship for 9 years. I've been running my business online for 9 years, and it's been amazing.
It's been a whirlwind. I've
Yes.
gotten the pleasure. Yeah, I've gotten the pleasure of kind of like working with her, being around her. And I want to ask you something that's, I think sometimes, we have this notion in life, right? Where like things happen to us, we're not privy to all the information in life, because if we were sit here and study forever and ever, every book or everything we learned in school, every advice we were given, you would be there forever, right? But there's a lot of things in life that kind of shape us and make us who we are. Do you feel like in everything that you've been through in life and all the like trials and tribulations, what is something that you can attribute to that made you who you are today? Like that's the one thing, if I had to highlight one, that shaped me.
Man, I cannot say one, Diana, because that would be lying. I feel like every trauma that I went through and every challenge that I went through made me the woman that I am today,
Mhm.
prepare me for what I'm doing today, gave me the strength of what I'm doing today. So I'm a no matter what, no excuse type of person. And I can be rough around the edges, right? And sometimes women find that very difficult, right? And then I sit back and I said, man, they have not been through the shoes that I've walked in. They have
Mm.
not been through the things that I've been through. So they're not going to respond like me. I'm a type of person that, okay, if I stub my toe, I'm still going to show up. Unless I need to be like in the emergency room almost dying, I'm going to show up, right? So what I realized is that if I wouldn't have overcome domestic violence, if I would not overcame being a teenage mom, if I would not overcame being dumped, being told that I was going to be nobody in life, saying that I was a loser, like I literally walked into a family member's house. Oh, I can give you two defining moments, Diana. I walked into my family, I was going to my cousin's house, and I walked into a family member's house, and they were both having my cousin's wife and somebody else was having a conversation about me. And she was saying how much of a loser I was. I was 15, I was pregnant. I had left my house. They didn't know I was coming up the stairs. And I heard what she said. And when she said that, I believed her. Live with this. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not bright enough. Like I made all these mistakes. And I believed that. And that was a very defining moment in my life, because then what I did after that is that I made all these choices as a loser.
Oh my goodness.
I got into a relationship that, they treated me bad. I settled for a job. I didn't want to go to school. Like all these things, I made these choices. And then that other defining moment was when one of my coworkers said, "You're destined for greatness." And I believed him too. And I started to make decisions as a woman that was destined for greatness.
Wow, man. Mira, my hairs are standing up. Because my God, what a powerful testimony. I can relate to you that when you said that you don't know if other women are willing to accept you or take in because you feel like you're rough around the edges, right? Well, my goodness, I have so many stories that I can relate to that because I'm a little Latina, soy chiquita, right? And I came from the Bronx, and we all know what the Bronx is. I was raised in the East Side Bronx, not the bougie side of the Bronx. Entonces, I didn't have that colorful mommy and daddy.
You don't know what the Bronx is. She doesn't know what the Bronx is. Don't tell her that.
So, it's like, when I decided to go into a male dominant career, it was the same thing, right? It was a whole lot of, "Oh, you ain't gonna do this. You're not gonna succeed. You're not this, you're not that." When I decided to go to college, it was the same thing. Joining the military, all of the steps in my life, it was that same vibe that I got. It was like a collection of no's. That's what I call it. Literally a collection of no's. Like if I could open my purse from like the age of like, I want to say 14 to 25, I could pick no's. Like if I was picking out one of those like big puffy lilies. Have you ever seen those wild lilies que tienen like a bunch of pétalos? Like a bunch of petals, right? Like I could just be like, "Oh, look, that was a no. Oh, look, that was a no."
That was another one.
Right? But, then you mentioned some of the things like for example, I think that you hinted, or we could make the assumption of the power of words and belief. The fact that you showed us and you told us about two separate situations where one told you something extremely negative and you took that and you embodied it, right? Because you were like, "Oh my God, this is what I am," because somebody else defined you that way, right? But then you came across somebody else who told you something positive and fed you something positive, and you took that in and you believe that too, right? So like, what do you think is the importance or the value that we hold in the tongue?
Ooh, it's everything. So it says it in the Bible, right? So I'm not sure if we have believers or anything here. It says it in the Bible, and I also live by it and I believe it, right? And the power of the tongue. Like I have a very powerful tongue, and I know that I can tear somebody down. And when you tell someone something, you don't know how they're going to receive it, right? So I try to live my life every day with letting people know how I feel and giving them compliments, right? Because and this podcast, like we have three strong, dominant women on here, right? And we don't tell each other enough. You might think it. So you might see someone on social media and be like, "Oh my gosh, she's so great. She's so awesome." But you never say that to them. And you don't know if you can be that person that was to me. My coworker, like we don't even talk anymore. I've never seen him again or anything. But I say his story all the time. He was quoting LeBron James. We were both basketball fans, but he was like, "You're destined for greatness." So what we say to other people is so important. But the most important is what you say to yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
It doesn't matter what other people tell you if you're not saying good things to you.
But and you're right. It's a lot about how we receive it, right? And that takes us to another point. Like, what do you think is the difference between you know, having character, or what the difference between having character and having personality is.
Having character and having personality. So to me, character is who you are as a person, right? Like character is a woman of her word, right? Are you a liar? Are you an honest person? Are you a fake? Are you real? You know, that is character. Like your personality can be like me. I'm a little rough around the edges, but you can never question my character, right? You can question my mood and my personality, and I'm an introvert, right? So I am not the best around people. That's not my strong suit. At least I believe people tell me otherwise, right? I wish I could see myself through other people's eyes, right? I think that's so powerful, right? But personality is like Diana can be a very funny person and outgoing and loud, but she could be fake. And she can be, not that she is, I'm just saying, give an example, right? And she can be a backstabber, or she can be somebody who's laughing in your face, right? So like character and personalities are two different things. But I can be a very serious person, and I'm not as much of an emotional person, but I'm the person that will show up for you.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
that.
that's important. That's important. And, you know, I think that that's a different way of, or a different perspective how we define character and personality, right? Because when I thought about the question as I was asking it to you, I was thinking like, oh, I get it, because character is your morality, right? So in the military, we have what's called core values that we follow, right? And it has to be honor, courage, and commitment. And everything that we do is supposed to be based on those values, right? And the thing is that when you become a leader, or in the military, or when you're doing certain missions or certain projects or something like that in the military, your personality has to be in check at all times, but your character cannot waver. And they literally like ingrain that into you. They don't, they be like, oh, I don't care what you do outside your uniform. I don't care who you are. What I care is that rank and that uniform and how you're carrying it. Right. So when I transitioned from the military into the civilian world, it took a long time for me to break away from that and start showing my personality again. Because I became a whole different person. I embodied my character, that, you know, versus just being relaxed, just being Jamie, you know. And so I think that's pretty cool.
And I think it was something that, go ahead, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I have a really special place in my heart for people in the military and people in sports. It takes such a level of just like, I tend to connect with them because I vibe with them, right? I vibe with people that can take roughness, toughness, discipline, consistency, challenges, right? Like we just connect, right? So I didn't know that. So thank you. You were saying something, Diana?
Yeah, no, she's dope. I told you she's a badass also. I get the privilege to call her my partner and my friend, but also be around amazing, crazy, strong alpha male females, such as both of you guys and a lot of other females that I get to be a part of their lives and grow together. What I was gonna say was kind of to both of your points is that one thing that I love about the difference between personality and characters is kind of like what you guys are saying. Personality can waver and you can add and take away and minus away, but your character is the one that carries you through. Your character is what makes or breaks you if it's strong and it's real to go to the next level. So it may take you a certain amount of time. And I know that you're definitely a great candidate for that specific kind of like mold and kind of like representation of it as a model in that aspect, because of your character, because of your vision and the way that you locked in, right? You decided this is going to be different for me. This is what I'm going to do, right? You didn't let the personality or the things that you knew to be real or the friends or the companionships, etc., kind of waver it, because your character, your morality, the way that you were envisioning things, your vision was so strong and so gun-ho that there wasn't like a horse. There was no looking any other way.
Amen. Amen.
You
actually mentioned vision twice. And if anybody mentions Erica, the word vision will come up, Oh, like anybody. Like I remember when I was speaking on stage for the first time for a very big seminar, and someone brought me up, and when he said, when you think of Erica, you think of a visionary, somebody with a big vision. And you know, ladies, I wouldn't be here where I am today if I didn't have a vision. So every listener and every woman that's on here and that's listening to this, right? I just want you to know that when I was living in the projects in a 2-bedroom apartment, right, with my 3 kids in one room, with roaches as our neighbors, I had a big vision. It wasn't because where I am now. I had a big vision, and my vision was what would get me up every day, because I knew that I wanted to change the reality was where I was, but my vision is what kept me going, right? And like exactly like you said, Diana, like I had tunnel vision. I couldn't let friends, family, anything, anybody hold me back, because the thing is, everybody didn't have my vision. And when I walk through my neighborhood today and I look at my kids' school, and I'm about to send a second child into college, right? And I have extra guest rooms in my home. That all started from a small project apartment. But if I didn't have that vision for my life, I wouldn't be where I am here today. So your reality doesn't have to be where you settle, it's where you're going.
No, absolutely. And I love that. I love that. And you're right. I think that, I've been privileged to know you now for the last like 5.5 years. And every year I find more, for lack of better words, more ways to see more vision through your eyes. And the great thing about it is that when you're a visionary, not only are you a visionary for your own success, but and that goes back to your character, but also you look for ways to embark and kind of like give you vision, like borrow my vision. Let me show you what I think, is going to happen. I literally had someone over at the house, and I was kind of coaching her, and she was saying, you're very impactful. You just have this voice. And I was like, no, girl, the thing is that I crashed into that wall 5 times. So if I could stop you from crashing into it, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you the cheat sheet, because why would you have to crash into it? That's all it is. It's just that, each one teach one, and we grow together. And you have embodied that throughout the years. And I was like, I know that I told Jamie, I said, before we even start the podcast, I know we're going to invite her again. We're going to have her in another 6 months, because she is fully booked in her own commitments. For those that don't know, I just kind of like a super back before I answer the question. Erica she humbly left out the fact that she went from being completely broke and broken and a high school dropout, as she says, I'm quoting her, to now making a very, very lump sum, high figure, 6-figure income, living in Houston, Texas, in a gorgeous 4-bedroom, right? 4 or 5? 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, living in an uppity town, So it's a very big difference. You know what I'm saying? And it's not the flex about the money. It's about the impact that she's been able to commit to grow and to build with her circular influence, the people around her teams, and she's done a lot, right? So I say that to say, I was gonna ask you a question. You answered the question already. And I'm like, that's why we gotta have her on again. But in case you forgot to add something, my question to you is, if you wish that you could say something to that woman that's listening right now, or that person, or that man, because our podcast is not limited to women only. There's men with wives, daughters, that also need to inject this information into their hearts and in their minds, so they can grow past what they know and learn more. What is one thing that you could say to them that you wish that more women, more people knew to empower them?
Winning is good.
Simple.
Winning is
I love it. She said winning is good.
A problem with it. Like, we live in a society now where we want to give kids awards for participation. You don't win in life by participating. You win in life by coming in number 1. Right? And there's no problem with doing that. You have to have, in order to succeed in anything in your life, you have to have a desire, and your desire has to be big, and your desire has to be strong, and you're not serving anybody by playing small. And I just want to pay my bills. I just wanted my small little house. I just want to like this. And you mentioned something, Diana, and I wanted to point that out. You said, it's not about the flex of money, but it's the impact. But the truth of the matter is, it is about the flex of money. And this is why I'm going to tell you this. Women, we have a hard time with money. We have a hard time accepting that we want money. Men have no problem. They'll tell you, I want a Porsche. I want a big house. I want to be successful. And for some reason, women are not trained to be that way. Women are trained to like be in the kitchen or, you know, be
modest,
support their
modest.
husband. No, I am a badass. Okay, I am a boss lady, and I am okay with that. I am comfortable with that, because this is the thing. The thing is that the more money that you make, the more impact that you're going to do. If I didn't have money, then I wouldn't be able to pay someone to clean my home. What am I doing? I'm providing for that person's family. If I didn't have money, then I wouldn't have a personal assistant. Now I'm providing for her home. If I didn't have money, then I wouldn't. And not only that, when I win, when you win, when Jamie wins, when any woman wins, it lets girls know from Brooklyn, and lets little girls know from the Bronx, and let Latinas know, and let high school dropouts know, and let teenage moms know, and let women know with their masters, or whoever or women from the military. Every time that one of us win, is their win too. And it makes it possible for them. Because you see, the thing is that we are inspiring people that we know nothing about. I know from you, Diana, how you feel about me. You know how I feel about you. But there's so much more people that do not come up to us and let us know. So it is your job. It is your duty to be successful. And it is okay to win. Like, who wants to come second? Now you're gonna fail. You're gonna fail. But if you're gonna do something, do it for the win. I hear so many people in my business say, I don't do it for the money. Then you know what? You should go do charity. If you're doing it to help,
a hobby.
Money provides opportunities. Money provides, like, it's not a bad thing. And the moment that we stop thinking, saying, or feeling like it's a bad thing, then you're gonna win. Because when I started to be honest with myself, and I stopped saying, oh, my kids are my why. And don't get me wrong, I love my kids. I'll go crazy for them, right? But they weren't. My why was Erica. Erica wanted to succeed. Erica had a point to prove to herself. And Erica likes to win.
I
know
love
what's
that.
You know what I love about that? That's such an unpopular opinion. Let me tell you something.
I know.
I have been saying that, I don't know, I think for like the last 3 years, right? Since I started my new life and my new adventures. And I've been saying it. I'm like, people are like, oh my God. So like, you know, you and your daughter, like, look at where you're at now compared to where you were before, because you're okay, whatever. And I'm sitting here like, oh no, I love my daughter. Don't get me wrong. I give my daughter everything and anything. If I have to take the food out of my mouth to feed my daughter, I have done it. I will do it. But I'm competing against myself yesterday for a better me today and an even better me tomorrow for me. Amen. Because if I'm good, she's always good. If I'm bad, she's still good. You know what I mean? Because if I had to drag myself in the streets for her to walk, she's good, right? Because I'm her sacrificial lamb, and I'm okay with that. So when I say, oh no, I'm doing this for me, honey, I don't want to retire at 65. I don't want to do that. I'm sorry. I want to chill in Hawaii, and then the next week go to Curacao and whatever island I want to go to, and add to my 28 countries that I've been to and visited, and keep adding until I go around the world twice. That's what I want. I don't want to be like, ay, Dios mío. Oh my God, I'm 68 years old. Where has life gone? No. No. And I want to be able to pass a legacy to my daughter and be like, here, mija, instead of passing a 9 to 5, here's an empire. Run it.
You know what's so funny? Yesterday, I find like now through personal development, I've been doing personal development for the last 5.5 years. It's been probably the most revolutionary thing that I've ever done. And I have a master's degree and multiple degrees and multiple certificates and many different things. And I won't say that I would ever give that up, nor do I ever regret it. But I don't think I've ever learned so much in my life and been so grateful to something as something so simple as YouTube University, hanging out with people that speak the same language or that challenge me. Like, girl, no, that don't let me settle. You know what I'm saying? And I think that because of that, when you have, the word on the street is when you're woke and you look at things differently, you can't unsee that anymore. You have to, like, once you see it, I can't unsee it anymore. And so yesterday, day before yesterday, I caught a glimpse of some type of movie. I can't watch, guys, I can't even watch movies anymore the same. Like, I can't hear that because everything is a lesson to me. Everything's a lesson. And I'm like, oh, see?
Y'all are wild. Y'all
So I
are
was listening
wild.
to something, and she was saying something, and it was, for me, it was, I'm not in a relationship, so don't hit me up, because I'm, I'm not. But I'm not looking to be in a relationship at this moment. But she was saying in more reference to marriages, but this is applicable to everything in life. People that are usually, and this is also an unpopular and super to the point of what we're saying, most of the time, 9 times out of 10, when people are selfless to the point where they give up themselves, they're usually not happy.
Mm-hmm.
When they're selfish and you decide, I'm gonna work out for me, I'm gonna take care for me, I'm gonna work hard for me, I'm gonna level up because I need to level up, and then it will impact everyone else. Because one thing that Erica has said before and other aspects I've heard on stages is like, what impact can you make? I mean, an extra $200 is the extra $200, but if you make it $10, how much impact are you really making, girl? Like, so you need to be leveling up on a bigger scale where you're teaching, you're growing, you're understanding more, you're changing your ways, you're doing things that are now seem on surface selfish, but they're gonna end up being something that comes off selfless. When you invest all your life, it's actually how I started this business, my business now, and personal development, is because I was so selfless, and I gave and gave and gave, that I depleted the crap out of myself, and I had nowhere else to give from, because I invested in everyone else and not in myself.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Bueno, mi gente, llegó el tiempo for the W4 questions, okay? So let's play our little game here. Let's see how let's get to know Erica a little
on the fast W4 there.
Yup, on the fast W4. So, señorita, what is your smile maker that no matter what is happening in life, it makes you smile?
Dancing.
Hey. Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, what genre? What do you like to dance?
Me too.
I'm trap. I'm a trap girl from the streets all day.
Yes.
Yes. I went back today and it was trap music, and I'm like, I probably burn 1,000 extra calories. Like, yeah, trap.
I just realized that about myself. Today I put on what's that song? Bedrock. You guys know that song. I was like, damn, I played that song 3 times and I worked out harder. I was like, yo, I just need to do it.
Girl, that's me in the mornings dropping off Helena listening to Spanish trap music.
Oh Lord. All right. Yeah. Let's get into like a little bit more like softer. Who's your hero?
Who's my hero? My mom.
Oh, usually it's a one-word answer, but why?
My mom was my mom did the best that she could with what she knew. And my mom did not turn her back on me when I came out pregnant at 15. She didn't kick me out the house. She never turned her back on me. She's always been there, even till this moment, to this age. I call her right now. My mom is my best friend. And the reason being is because my mom grew up with absolutely no love. No one ever told her they loved her. No one ever hugged her. She never met her father, and my grandma's very interesting. So for her to have given us so much love without ever having it, like there was no like guidance at all. And yet she was such an amazing, phenomenal mom. And she would go to bat for us. And I know a lot of people like we say that, but when I tell you my mom has had my back, my mom has, and she is my biggest cheerleader in life. Like she is my biggest cheerleader in life. She tells me all the time, there's not, at first she was a little bit of a hater for my business, but once she understood, but my mom just gave us so much without having nothing.
That's beautiful. That's so touching.
I love that. I love that. All right. If you could make one change in the world that everyone had to follow, what would it be and why?
Be a woman, be a person of your word. Like the character part, like be a person of your word. I'm a type of person, like I got invited to a wedding and I'm like, no, I'm not going. Right? So I'm not going to show up to something or do something just because, right? So I'm not going to tell you I'm going to go knowing I'm not going to go. But if I tell you that I'm going to show up, I'm going to show up. And if we had more character and we keep our words, the world would be a better place. Now, if you want to be a loser and you want to be a bum, cool, no problem. Say that. Don't say that you're going to show up for me. Don't say that you're going to do this and not do this, because then I won't expect it. If I'm not expecting anything from you, then it's fine. If more men were to tell women, I don't love you, I just want X, Y, and Z, they would probably get it more with less problems. So
Preach.
if we just all have character, then the world would be a better place.
I believe that. I believe that. And the very last one is, if you could have one superpower as a woman, what would it be?
Ooh, if I can have one superpower, goodness, that's a good one. Just one?
I'll let you do two. You can do two.
Oh my God, that one had me stunned. If I can have one superpower as a woman, what would it be? Man, you mentioned something and I wrote it down about the military and having core value.
Mhm.
Value is everything. Value is everything. Value is what I would give people more value, right? I would give the world more value. Like you, a lot of times people tell me, well, why we do the same thing, we send the same messages, we have the same business, we have the same amount of time. What is it about you that has made you so successful in your business and life in general, just people? And I was like, it's value. So when you have value, you have built influence. And if we focus more on providing, like what you ladies are doing here, this is value. And if I can give more value to the world, teach other people how to give more value, which is what I try to do every single day, I think that it's everything. You get paid based on the value that you bring to the world. Plain and simple.
Ooh.
That is a fact. And it's funny because you don't just get paid, with money when it comes to that.
Everything.
You know?
Everything.
Facts, tenfold. Oh my God, what an amazing time with you.
Yes.
I'm telling you, we're gonna have to thank the Lord. First of all, thank to our supporters and everyone that's been following. We are now booked for the 90 days. So we're now booking into August and September. So we're looking to maybe throw some dates at you for maybe September for you to come back, because we know this is gonna be one of the most highlighted podcast that we've launched. This is episode number 7, so we would love to have you back. Tell us where they can find you, what do you have, how much more value you can give to us and everyone else around you.
Well, thank you for picking me for 7, because people say the lucky 7. The 7.
Hey.
So, I feel like everything happens for a reason. So you guys can follow me on Instagram and Facebook. It's very simple. Erica Morel, ERICA Morel. It is my name. And what I have coming up next, right? So I love to provide women with opportunities to grow and to learn. So I have I'm in Houston, Texas right now. So I have an up and coming women's empowerment brunch that is coming up next week, Saturday, May 20th. So if you listen to this way after May 20th, just look at me, trust me, look me up on social media. We will have something coming up, right? And it's going to be a seminar, and I'm so excited because I'm bringing some powerhouse friends. Plus, I will be there. It's food, drinks, value, learning, gifts, getaway. It's just amazing. That's the next thing that I have going on. And I'm really excited about that, because usually in our women empowerment events, we have anywhere between 80 to 100 women that show up. So it's bomb. It's bomb.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for being our guest tonight. Thank you for sharing your story with us. I've learned a whole lot tonight, and definitely inspired to keep moving forward, on our projects and our goals. And I want to leave our audience tonight with not so much of a quote, but a little bit of a motivation. When you have a goal and you want to focus on that goal, you have to absolutely create isolation and self-belief. Focus on your goal. Focus on yourself. It is okay to isolate. The true ones will be there when you come out blossoming